For 10 years, the world has been asking the same haunting question. What really happened to Flight MH370? Now, in 2025, the search is back. With next-gen underwater drones, AI mapping tech, and a $70 million promise. Find the wreck or don't get paid. But the deeper they go, the stranger it gets. Debris found thousands of miles away, mysterious simulator data from the pilot's home, and new theories that could finally expose the truth. Was it a mechanical failure? A hijacking? Or something the world isn't ready to hear? Let me take you back to March 8th, 2014. It's just past midnight at Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia. Flight MH370, a Boeing 777, is preparing for what should be a completely ordinary 6-hour journey to Beijing, China. On board are 239 souls, 227 passengers and 12 crew members, families heading home, business travelers. Tourists are excited about their adventures. The captain Zaharieh Ahmad Shah is an experienced pilot with over 18,000 flight hours. His first officer, Fariq Abdul Hamid, is younger but well-trained. Everything seems normal. At 12:41 a.m. local time, the massive aircraft lifts off into the night sky. The flight climbs smoothly to its cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. Air traffic controllers track it on their screens as it heads northeast over the South China Sea toward Vietnam. At 1:07 a.m., the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, we call it ACARS, sends its last automatic transmission. This system regularly reports the plane's performance and status. Then it goes silent. At 1:19 a.m., Captain Zahari makes his final radio contact with Malaysian Air Traffic Control. His words are calm, routine, unremarkable. Good night, Malaysian 370. These would be the last words anyone would ever hear from Flight 370. 2 minutes later, the plane disappears from civilian radar screens as it crosses from Malaysian to Vietnamese airspace. But here's where things get strange. Really strange. The Vietnamese controllers never see the plane appear on their screens. It's just gone. But Malaysian military radar tells a different story. Their primary radar, which doesn't rely on the plane's transponder, tracks something incredible. The aircraft makes a sharp turn. Instead of continuing northeast toward Beijing, it turns back westward, crossing the Malay Peninsula. It flies over Malaysia itself, then turns northwest over the Andaman Sea. For another hour, military radar tracks this mysterious flight path before the plane moves beyond their range. Then nothing. Silence. The plane and everyone aboard have vanished into thin air. When dawn breaks on March 8th, Flight 370 is officially overdue. Panic sets in. Where could a massive Boeing 777 have gone? This isn't a small private plane. It's one of the largest passenger aircraft in the world, as long as a city block. The search begins in the South China Sea, where the plane was last seen on civilian radar. Ships and aircraft from multiple countries converge on the area. Surely, they think, they'll find something. Debris, oil slicks, anything. But they find nothing. Absolutely nothing. Then investigators discover something that changes everything. Satellite data from a company called Inmarsat shows that the plane continued flying for hours after it disappeared from radar. Automated handshake signals, like a phone pinging a cell tower, reveal that MH370 kept flying south deep into the Indian Ocean until at least 8:19 a.m. Let that sink in. The plane flew for nearly 7 more hours after its last contact. But why? Where was it going? And most chilling of all, who was flying it? Experts analyzed the satellite data and determined that the plane likely crashed somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most remote places on Earth. This is where the water is freezing, the weather is brutal, and the ocean floor is up to 4 miles deep. The search area shifts thousands of miles away to the vast empty waters west of Australia. An international effort begins, the most expensive aviation search in history. Australia takes charge, coordinating ships and submarines from multiple nations. For months, they have searched. Underwater vehicles scan the ocean floor with sonar. Ships drag sensors through the deep. They find shipwrecks, volcanic ridges, underwater mountains. But no plane. The families of the 239 people aboard are devastated. They hold vigils, demand answers, and refuse to give up hope. Some believe their loved ones are still alive somewhere. Others just want to know the truth, no matter how painful. Then, on July 29, 2015, 16 months after the disappearance, a jogger on a beach in Reunion Island, a French territory east of Madagascar, spots something unusual. It's a piece of aircraft debris covered in barnacles. Experts examine it and confirm it's a flaperon, part of the wing, from a Boeing 777, and it belongs to MH370. Finally, physical proof. The plane did crash into the Indian Ocean. The debris carried by currents had drifted thousands of miles westward to Africa's coast. Over the following months, more pieces washed ashore on beaches in Mozambique, South Africa, Madagascar, and Tanzania. Wing fragments, cabin interior pieces, engine parts. In total, 33 pieces of debris were found. 3 are positively confirmed as coming from MH370, and most others are highly likely matches. But these pieces are small, damaged by their journey across the ocean. They can tell us the plane crashed, but not where or why. The official underwater search has continued for nearly 3 years, covering 120,000 square kilometers of ocean floor, an area larger than many countries. They map terrain never before seen by human eyes. They discover extinct volcanoes, deep valleys, and strange geological formations. But they don't find MH370. On January 17, 2017, the official search was suspended. The cost has reached $155 million. Malaysia, Australia, and China, the 3 countries funding the effort, decide they cannot continue without new evidence. The announcement crushes the families who have been waiting for answers. However, in January 2018, a private company called Ocean Infinity stepped forward with an offer. This Texas-based marine exploration firm has cutting-edge technology and a bold proposal. They'll search for free. Malaysia only has to pay them $70 million if they actually find the wreckage. It's called a no-find, no-fee arrangement. Ocean Infinity deploys a ship called Seabed Constructor, equipped with 8 autonomous underwater vehicles. Basically, swimming robots. These machines can dive to depths of 6,000 meters and scan the seafloor with incredible precision. For months, they have searched a refined area of 25,000 square kilometers, identified as the most probable crash site based on drift analysis of the debris and satellite data. The underwater vehicles work day and night, mapping every inch of the ocean floor, but once again, they find nothing. In June 2018, Ocean Infinity's search ended without success. The mystery deepens. If MH370 isn't in the areas where all the data says it should be, then where is it? Years pass. The 10th anniversary of the disappearance comes and goes in March 2024. Documentaries are made, books are written, conspiracy theories flourish on social media, but the plane remains hidden beneath thousands of feet of water, somewhere in the vast Indian Ocean. The families continue to hope, to grieve, to demand that authorities don't give up. And then something changes. In late 2024, Ocean Infinity approaches the Malaysian government again. But this time, they're not just returning with the same equipment and hope. They're bringing revolutionary new technology that could finally crack this case. On December 20th, 2024, Malaysia's Transport Minister Anthony Loke makes a stunning announcement. The search for MH370 will resume. Ocean Infinity has refined the search area based on new analysis, and they believe they know where to look. The new search zone is 15,000 square kilometers in the southern Indian Ocean, about 1,500 kilometers west of Perth, Australia. This area focuses on a region near an underwater feature called Broken Ridge, a massive fault line on the ocean floor. Advanced analysis of ocean currents, debris drift patterns, and satellite data has pinpointed this as the most likely resting place of the aircraft. But here's what makes this attempt different: the technology. Ocean Infinity has deployed a vessel called the Armada 7806, a 78-meter offshore support ship built specifically for this kind of deep-sea exploration. This isn't your typical search ship. It's equipped with technology that didn't exist during the previous searches. The vessel carries a fleet of autonomous underwater vehicles manufactured by Norwegian company Kongsberg. These aren't the same drones from 2018. These are next-generation machines, and they're absolutely incredible. Each vehicle is 6.2 meters long, about the size of a small car, and can operate completely independently at depths up to 6,000 meters. That's nearly 4 miles down, where the pressure would crush a human instantly. These drones can stay underwater for up to 100 hours at a time, scanning continuously without needing to return to the surface. But the real magic is in what they carry. These vehicles are equipped with multiple types of sonar technology. Side-scan sonar creates detailed images of the seafloor by bouncing sound waves off underwater terrain. Multi-beam sonar provides three-dimensional maps of the ocean bottom. Sub-bottom profilers can even see beneath the seafloor, detecting objects buried in sediment. When these systems work together, they can detect objects as small as a piece of aircraft debris from hundreds of meters away. They can see through the darkness of the deep ocean and map every rock, every ridge, every anomaly on the seafloor. And here's the incredible part: Ocean Infinity can deploy multiple vehicles simultaneously. While one is scanning one section, another is working a different area. It's like having a team of tireless robot explorers working around the clock. The company has proven this technology works. In 2018, they found a missing Argentinian submarine, the ARA San Juan, nearly 1,000 meters underwater in the Atlantic Ocean. In 2024, they discovered the wreck of a U.S. Navy ship that had been lost for 78 years. They're not amateurs, they're the best in the business. On February 25, 2025, Transport Minister Loke confirmed that Ocean Infinity had officially begun the search. The Armada 7806 was in position, and the underwater drones were being deployed. But then, in early April 2025, the search hit a snag. The Indian Ocean in that region is notorious for its brutal weather, especially during certain times of the year. This area sits in what sailors call the Roaring Forties, a band of ocean between 40 and 50 degrees south latitude, where powerful westerly winds create massive waves. The conditions became too dangerous. Waves over 10 meters high battered the ship. High winds made it impossible to safely deploy and recover the underwater vehicles. Ocean Infinity made the difficult decision to suspend operations and return to port in Perth. But this isn't the end. The search will resume later in 2025, during the calmer weather window between January and April 2026. The fire theory. Could there have been a fire that destroyed communication systems but didn't bring down the plane immediately? Pilots would have turned toward the nearest airport, climbing to a higher altitude to starve the fire of oxygen. If smoke incapacitated them before they could land, the plane might have continued on autopilot. But aircraft fires usually cause planes to crash quickly, not fly for 7 more hours. Then there are the wild theories. Alien abduction, which gained bizarre traction thanks to fake videos on social media. A black hole, seriously discussed on some news networks. Russian hijacking, US military shootdown. These conspiracy theories prey on our need for answers and our love of dramatic narratives. But they're not supported by any evidence. The truth is likely simpler, but no less tragic. Something went terribly wrong aboard MH370. Someone, or something, caused that plane to turn around and fly south into oblivion. The answer is down there in the wreckage, waiting to be found. So, what do you think really happened to MH370? Drop your theory in the comments below, and if you found this story as mind-blowing as we did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's craziest mysteries.